SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program brings to you our news stories, exclusive reporting, and SSM perspectives on the day's top news. Plus, the inside scoop on Africa's most important developing stories. Join us on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. West African time. In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.
Good day, viewers around the world. You're welcome to SSM Wednesday, the 7th day of May, 2025. My name is Godwin Iweajuwan, and I'm here with my fellow coordinators, colleagues, and brothers far away. Toronto, Canada is Sir George Chukwu. Sir George, you're welcome to our Wednesday edition of News Updates.
Good morning, my Godwin Iweajuwan. Good morning, viewers from around the world. We want to welcome you to our Wednesday African news updates. So, welcome, sit back and listen, for you have a lot coming to you today.
You have a lot coming for you today. Those are good words, George. George, you update us on the visit of your Prime Minister and Trump. Very funny one there. But before we go into those stories, let's have Ogbeni Olayinka Raji from Lagos, Nigeria. Ogbeni Olayinka, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Sir George. Good morning, viewers around the world. Welcome to our Wednesday program. Very entertaining, very informative, and full of knowledge.
Indeed, gentlemen. We don't want to blow our trumpet here, but I've been getting some back end response feedback from people. They say, listen, we need to have this go real worldwide, global, that we do our best in putting out updates. Okay, gentlemen, let's go straight to it. But before we go straight to it, George, we saw what happened there yesterday. Your Prime Minister visited the White House. Let's see a clip on that, George, before we go into the African story. Let's see a clip on that.
Mr. President, you have said that Canada should become the 51st state.
No. Well, I still believe that, but it takes two to tango, right? But no, I do. I mean, I believe it would be a massive tax cut for the Canadian citizens. You get free military, you get tremendous medical cares and other things. There would be a lot of advantages, but it would be a massive tax cut. And it's also a beautiful, as a real estate developer, I'm a real estate developer at heart. When you get rid of that artificially drawn line, somebody drew that line many years ago with like a ruler, just a straight line right across the top of the country.
Well, if I may, as you know from real estate, there are some places that are never for sale.
That's true.
We're sitting in one right now, Buckingham Palace that you visited as well.
That's true.
And having met with the owners of Canada over the course of the campaign last several months, it's not for sale, won't be for sale ever. But the opportunity is in the partnership and what we can build together.
Consider what Mr. Carney just said, that Canada is not for sale. Does this make the discussion a little more difficult to start on?
No, not at all. No, not at all. No, time will tell. It's only time. But I say, never say never. I've had many things that were not doable, and they ended up being doable, and only doable in a very friendly way. But if it's to everybody's benefit, Canada loves us and we love Canada. That's, I think, the number one thing that's important. But we'll see. I mean, over time, we'll see what happens.
Gentlemen, I think the words have been put out loud and clear, straight up. George, this is it. Tell us, George.
Well, sometimes some things are so laughable that is crazy. No, the point about it is this, it was a friendly visit. and it was one that was Canadians were looking forward to because of our close relationship with the Americans. We've worked together in the past so many times, but the bottom line to it is this: an intelligent man met with another so-called self-imposed intelligent man, and that's the difference between the two. Because what we have seen in the past, Trump is a great guy, but he's a great orator too. He loves himself and he loves America. So he puts that narrative out there simply because I've said it before. I knew it was going to happen because of his love for North Korean man who is going after South Korea, for China going after Taiwan, for Russia going after Ukraine. So loving these individuals, to them, if you're intelligent and you're strong, he loves you. So I knew that. So now, sitting beside him was an intelligent man, and I way above his own level of intelligence, who can actually manage him, because he's a very volatile individual. He managed him very well, was able to articulate what the spirit of Canada stands for, and gave a perfect example. White House is not for sale. You've gone to Buckingham Palace, is not for sale. Neither is Canada for sale. So stop all those narratives, because it doesn't gain you anything whatsoever. So the point about it is, it was a good visit, and I'm quite sure that whatever discussions were made, he's still maintaining some of the misconceptions and his lack of intelligence in certain areas, like saying that they subsidize Canada. They do not subsidize Canada. They have never given Canada any amount of money. It's all trade deficit, and somebody needs to let him know, drill it into his head, so he will understand. Trade deficit is not subsidy. Subsidy. So that's what it is.
That's what it is. Yinka, do you agree with? Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, you see, I think Sir George is taking things too seriously. I've come to an age where I don't take anything too seriously. If you don't take anything seriously, you have a very good life. Now, I'm not sure, and I'm very, very sure that Trump doesn't want to buy Canada. He wants a relationship. If you put it in a way as if he wants to buy Canada, he cannot buy Canada. He can collaborate with Canada. But I don't think it's also a matter of intelligence or lack of intelligence. I think we should be very careful the words we use to describe some of our leaders. Trump may not seem intelligent to you, but he knows what he's doing. He's playing the game and he's enjoying himself as president of the United States of America, the strongest person in the world today, whether you like it or not.
Thank you very much, Raji. Yes, it's actually Friday. We might dive deep into this discussion again. Let's go into our viewers are here, and maybe some of them are here to get the African update. But you both spoke. Hopefully, we see that good cooperation. Intelligent Mark response was very good, and we know the man has shown that they are not for sale. Gentlemen, let's come in again. George, last time you were saying you're tired of talking about bandits, kidnapping, and all these things. There be better. So, but that's what is happening, George. This is what is happening in our country. So yesterday, gentlemen, there was another heavy attack, serious one in Bauchi. Bauchi State is not Nigeria, not of Nigeria, and bandits ran into hunters, a group of hunters, real legitimate hunters. Bandit ran into them and attacked them, killed many of them. Now we've not gotten the exact number of people that were killed, and they also killed some villagers too. Gentlemen, this is it. This is what is happening. But before we go further, let's welcome the diva in our midst, Bidi Nana. Bidi, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Our viewers all around the world. Good morning. Thanks for having us again today.
You're welcome, Diva.
Welcome, Bidi.
Thank you.
So, George, let me start with you on this, You actually don't like these stories, but this is what it is.
Well,
George,
it is tiring, and is despicable, and it's absolutely unacceptable. The following the news, they say that about 19 people were killed in Bauchi State. This is in the northern part of Nigeria, and they're calling them armed bandits. Armed bandits. It is no longer Boko Haram. It is no longer. It's just armed bandits. On Sunday morning, the security patrol was doing this thing in Giwa, also Guanas district, according to the police residence. And then all of a sudden, they came against one another and started killing. It killed quite a few number of villagers who were trying to run away when they heard the gunshots. So when we talk about these things, okay, I mean, we have a government in Nigeria, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and something like this has been taking place for the past how many years now? And we have not heard the president raise one arm to say, I am going to save you people. If the president of Nigeria, from Buhari to Asiwaju, thinks that this is nothing serious, but they can send military men, EFCC, with other organizations to go and look for one man and arrest him. But these people are dying daily, and nothing is happening. The military is there, the police is there, EFCC is there, DSS is there, but they are only interested in making sure that anybody that speaks against the government must be strapped and imprisoned. But they will not be able to raise up arms to put the military men together to go and save this insurgency in this area. What do you want us to do? The only thing we can do now is to ensure that some of these departments or some of these government departments, their leaders are banned from traveling around the world when they are being used as axemen to go after citizens for speaking up against, the ills of the government. So it is so sad. I'm tired of talking about it, because if our government doesn't deem this to be important enough, what are we going to do? Because we know that this is government-sponsored, leadered, sponsors insurgency, and they want to displace these people. And right in our eyes, inside the water, soap is entering our eyes, and we're just looking at it. So what do you want us to do? Talk about it? Talk about it? We've been talking about this for how many years? 5 years we've been talking about this.
We'll keep talking, because at least there's an awareness we're creating with this. The world is hearing us. Raji, again, Bauchi State, the number says 19, like George said. What's your view on this, Raji? This happened yesterday.
It has been said repeatedly, especially during Abacha's time, that if insurgency continues for more than 48 hours, then the government at the bottom of it.
Okay.
The government is at the bottom of it. But then there's also a very insidious thing going on, which is what Sir George mentioned about displacement of people from their ancestral homes and resettling all these bandits in these areas. Now, these people are displaced into wallowing in IDP camps, which the government is readily set up for them. Meanwhile, those who came to settle on their land are also being funded and resettled by the government in those areas. Those areas are now renamed according to what the settlers want it to be. It is not right. It is not fair. And it is going on for more than 10 years. This government came in. I thought there would be something done about first taking a concerted effort to scrap all IDP camps in the country and taking the people back to their ancestral homes. Because all those who are in IDP camps came from somewhere, and they know where they came from. You see? So they should be returned to their ancestral homes. If there are people settled there already, then those people should go back to wherever they came from, unless the government is behind them.
On top of this, gentlemen and lady, the Borno governor, Zulum, Yesterday, as this was happening, he also announced that, well, his government is planning a resettlement plan. So, BD, 6,000 families are displaced in Borno alone. 6,000 families as a result of Boko Haram insurgency. BD, what are we seeing in Nigeria? What's happening? What's happening?
Place or IVD camp is not a new thing in Nigeria. It has become like a culture. The Nigerian government certainly don't want to do anything about it. It's so heartbreaking that you will live in your own country. You will live in your own country and you'll be living like a refugee in Nigeria. So it's a common thing in Nigeria and it's no longer a new thing. And the Nigerian government have not considered doing anything about that. Now, the sad thing about it is that even those who are living inside the IDP camp in Nigeria are not even safe. Do you understand? They are not even safe. We've had how Boko Haram terrorists, herdsmen have even been attacking them there. The other time we had how they went there and raped the women and men. Now you begin to ask, they call it IDP camp. Where is the security? So the thing is that I don't understand this government. The way they are looking away from things and the way things are getting bad in Nigeria is what people like me are even tired of talking. Because you know why? The more you talk, the more you become their enemy. So I don't know. Maybe probably somebody who knows should tell me.
we will not stop talking. There's something about talking. Even though the crime continues, even though people are being displaced, IDP camp in people's ancestral land. Imagine things you can't imagine is what's happening. But we have to keep speaking. Maybe somewhere, somehow, since we are also out in the international focal, maybe some people will begin to hear and come to the aid of Nigerians. George, do you have any more response on this?
Yes, I want to appeal directly to our president. I want to appeal directly to our president because during Buhari's time we spoke about this, and there was nothing that was done. And up until today, when Asiwaju won the election, one of the things that I felt in my heart was, once again, this will be the president that will take care of these people in the middle belt. Because I know Asiwaju to be a very strong man. I know him to be a man of intelligence that can actually find a way to save these people. With all due respect, sir, your silence over what is going on in this middle belt area, the constant and incessant killing of these people has reached to the point where your voice and your participation in stopping this is so needed more than anything else. So, sir, you are the head of the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Please send troops to these areas to protect the people. They are under your leadership. You are their president. And if you fail them, who is it that can help them? Send the military men to save the lives of these people. Enough is enough. We are tired of hearing about this insurgency. You know exactly what is going on. You should not cower and bow to the Fulani oligarchy or whatever they are doing to displace these people. We all know what is going on. Let the truth be told. All eyes are on you, and all expectations are towards you to help these people, sir. Thank you.
Perhaps I should puncture Sir George's whatever hope he has. During Jonathan's time, when there were a lot of kidnappings and other things, what was Tinubu's stance? That the ball stops at the president's table. Now, when he came in, the story has changed. That the governors are the chief security officers of their states. So I don't know how you are going to appeal to Tinubu, this to Sir George, for him to be able to take responsibility about the things that are happening. The man is of double speak. He says one thing when he's in opposition. He says another thing when he's in government. So be careful where you put your hope. But I want to tell the local authorities that it's now time for them to start organizing themselves to protect their communities from your person to your community, to your town, to your state. Let that be start, because anybody in any area knows that area much more than the incoming insurgents or bandits. Organize yourself, protect yourself first, protect yourself and your family first, and then organize to protect the whole country. Don't put your hope in the federal government.
Anyway, anyway, the president was in Katsina for a wedding, and by the side, he also addressed this insurgent thing. But he's not addressing enough. BD, your hands were up. Tell us what's
Yeah,
that?
it's when I say that I'm even tired, I don't know what to say, or I don't even know what to talk about, because Nigerian government have decided to hear or to see what they want to see. Because if I've come here now to blackmail Tinubu before we might not even finish this program, they will come after us. But when we are talking about something that is of importance to the life of an average Nigerian, they will pretend that they are not, they can't hear you, or they are not seeing what is going on. Now, you know why I say that? Nigerian government systematically decided not to do anything about this terrorist that is ravaging Nigeria. Because let me tell you, if you look at how things are unfolding, if you go to social media, you see these bandits showing you with style, with guys, showing you the money they have acquired. Go to social media, showing you. The one we saw yesterday, these bandits we are dancing with human flesh, hand and leg. I don't know if you have seen that video. They were dancing with it. Now, if an ordinary Nigerian had made a statement, within 30 minutes, Nigerian government will fish out that person. Do you understand? But they are seeing all these things. It was in this event, this platform, I said that what is happening in the middle belt, not central, Nigerian government must have entered into a particular agreement with international world. You know why I said that? When they got Plateau, I'm talking about Plateau because I've lived in Plateau. Plateau, I know when I was small, I lived there. When they got to all these villages in Plateau, they will attack them. The indigenous of that community, they will run away. Now, ordinarily, you expect that when you go to such places, it will be deserted. But when you go there, you see big machineries working, because some of those places, they have these natural resources working. And you see our Nigerian police and soldiers guiding them.
Okay.
So do you now understand why I said I am living tired? I don't know what to talk about. But it looks like, I used to say that the real terrorists we have in this country are Nigerian government, because they know what they're supposed to do, but they decided not to do anything. They decided not to say anything. And that's why we are where we are. Like Saraki said, the DG of DSS said it earlier this year that Nigerians should guide and protect themselves. He said it in plain paper that government cannot guide and protect you all. That's what they tackle is, he says it's a secondary. That's the word he says, secondary. That's what he means by secondary is the one government want them to tackle is the one they will tackle. So if you're in your village, in your corner, in your town, expecting them to come and rescue you, come and defend you, you all will die. So I think that's what Nigerians should. But the bitter part about it is that when people stand up to defend themselves, the same Nigerian government will come and ask them, why did you do this? Why did you do that? So you see, it becomes a problem for us in this country. You see that their interest is very, very important in what they protect and what they allow to be.
Indeed, it's complicated. It's a very serious issue there. George was last time advising the Benue people to go get arms, guard themselves, help themselves. But it's complicated because when they do that, those arms could also go to the hands of some wrong villagers, and it becomes another issue completely. Gentlemen, ladies, thank you very much. Yes, the president is in Katsina. He went for a wedding in Katsina. but he also addressed that issue of his security and all that. But it's just some word of mouth. Let's move on to more on the presidency.
Just one comment on the president's visit to Katsina. An incident happened there. You see, normally when the president has entered the place, nobody else can come in. But in Katsina, the emir of Katsina came in after the president have entered the event center, and his Dongaris broke down the door to let him in. So let that sink in, that in Katsina the emir is superior to the president. Let that sink in.
Yeah, we saw the video. Very funny thing there. They broke the glass and everything.
Yes.
Broke all protocol. All right, gentlemen, let's come down to a more crucial issue again. We're still in Nigerian, the Nigerian APC leadership, and that is the president. Before going to Katsina, he presided over the FAC meeting and swore in more commissioners, swore in more permanent sec, PAMSEC. And we keep seeing this swearing in of officers every time, agents, ministries swearing in every bogus leadership number. Very, very too many people, too many. And there's a proverb that says too many cooks spoils the broth. Raji, let me come to you. Last time we were talking about the Oresanya report, and that was a brilliant report the man gave during Jonathan's administration. Let's hear Raji. What do you say about these too many?
So last Monday when we were talking about the national conference report being implemented, I was just laughing because a small part of which is Oresanya report, which the government gave the impression that it was going to implement to the letter, but is actually implementing in breach, because I believe in what is called inverse relevance. The more the government says it's going to do something, the less it's going to do about it. The more the government says it's not going to do something, the more it's going to do about it. So when the government said they are going to implement the Oresanya report, I know that they are not going to do anything about it. In fact, they were going to do the direct opposite. Now the commissions and everything have ballooned. The number of prime ministers we have are ballooned. The number of permanent secretaries and all the other incidentals have ballooned directly against the recommendations of the Oresanya report. So I don't see there's nothing strange. If you understand government, you know that the doctrine of inverse relevance applies all the time. And with Tinubu's government, it is actually what is in vogue. The more they say they are going to do something, the less they do about it.
Okay, thank you very much. George, the Oresanya report was a very good report, like Raji has said also. Oresanya, like we all know, was a man, an accountant, and was, I think, appointed head of service for the Federation at that time. He was able to look at our ministries and concluded that there were too many agencies and ministries that were to be scrapped. George, that's a summary you see on the screen, viewers, of the Oresanya report, what a summary of what it entails. George, tell us, do you think that we need to reduce our agencies and ministries and personnel?
Well, we have actually said it before, and we have discovered also there are so many duplications and so many unnecessary appointments. You know, he's swearing in 2 permanent secretaries and the chairman and the commissioners of National Assembly Service Commission for 5 years, and it's renewable after 5 years. You know, what we're seeing here is a blatant disregard for what we call, you know, to shrink the government, make the ones that are employed or appointed to work efficiently and effectively. But, you know, they do what they want, you know. So I just sometimes you cry so much over these issues, but nothing is happening. And you know that regardless of what you say, what you do, they're going to do what they want. What are you going to do? You just let it be.
What are you going to do? If BD, something can be done. We can't have too many.
Yeah.
I mean,
Of course, something can be done. Like I said the other day, you see, what we are seeing in Nigeria now with Nigeria, the present government and this Orasaya report is just politics. You see, one of the things that the Orasaya report requires is scribing some agencies, scribing some government positions, and merging some agencies to cut costs. That is the simple, to cut costs, and now Nigerians have a better life. Now, when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu government came to power, that was the first thing they told Nigeria, that they're going to implement Orasaya reports, and people were happy. Do you understand now? With what this present government is doing, for you who is sitting here, do you think it's possible for them to implement this? Because implementing this goes against everything this government is doing. Even till today, as I speak with you, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is still appointing. There is no week he does not appoint. And these are one of the things this Orasaya report kicks against. So implementing this, it's not doable as far as I'm concerned. What they are doing is politics. You know, they will bring some certain things that flash in our face, and you say, oh, they are doing something. Like we already say, more Nigerians say, hey, give them time, give them time. So when they flash this kind of Orasaya report in our face, oh, he said he will implement it. Let's give him time so that he can implement it. Because I know a lot of Nigerians depend on this Orasaya report. They know if it's well implemented, it will actually turn things around in Nigeria. But let me tell you, I don't see this thing being implemented. Even if it will, like I said the other time, maybe in Tinubu's second tenure, when he has achieved all he wants to achieve. But you see, as they're saying it, they're just trying to enrich some people. That's just what I see. Because all these committees they are setting, they're not setting it for free. People are making money out of it.
People are making money out of it. Okay, for our viewers that are watching.
By the way, but we do know that is, you know, if this particular report is actually instituted, that thousands upon thousands of people will lose their positions and their jobs. We know that, don't we? We do know that. Now, the question that we need to ask is, implementing this, this report, Orasaya's report, requires time. It's not something you can just do immediately, because a lot of families will suffer. So I believe we don't want to do it just the same way we did the, the subsidy issue. You know, without planning, you just implement something that will cause the whole nation to go in chaos. So what we think is, if it is going to happen, it's going to take time, so that even those particular individuals that might lose their positions can be put in another department, or move them into where they are, there are places where they might be needed. Because if it's done like overnight, thousands will lose their jobs, and it will cause a lot of chaos.
George, they are not even showing sign of implementing. I mean, you're talking of it will take time, and we're adding more. We're creating more agencies.
I'm just saying, I know that. I know they're not, there is no foreseeable plan that we can look at and say that this is what they're going to do. But I'm just saying, because sometimes when we're talking about things, you have to also go down and see the pros and the cons of that particular situation.
Absolutely.
If it is implemented right away.
Yes, Orasaya himself said it will take time. He said people should be conscious of also the costs. It's going to be cost effective too to start that initial implementation. He said it will cost the government, but a breakdown of what he was trying to say for our viewers that are watching is about 541 parastatals and commissioners will be merged into key recommendation arrangements. That's, he said, about 263 of such agencies out of that 541 will be recommended. And he also gave that idea of Tinubu merging about 29 agencies also into 15. So he really cutting the cost and slashing all this whole thing. Then he said actually it cost us 24 trillion naira to implement all of it. So that was Orasaya's report. Yes, Bidi, go ahead.
Massive man, you see, one of the challenges this Orasaya report is facing in Nigeria today is the agencies. Most agencies in Nigeria are resisting this change. They want to maintain the status quo. Now, that brings me to one of the things I'm saying. You know, the problem we make in this country called Nigeria is that we build individuals, we don't build institutions. Because the people who are resisting this thing are those CEO, those MDs in those agencies, parastatals, because they know what they are gaining. So they know that if this change is made, they will not be cashing out the way they've been cashing. So that's will teach us a lot of lessons for us to start building institutions and not human beings in Nigeria.
For us to start building institutions and not human beings in Nigeria. Gentlemen, awesome. Good one. Discussions like this, I rarely said, even in the other networks. So we are putting it out. Federal government need to begin to consider some of these things and implement. Let's go on a small break, gentlemen. We'll come back and see you on the other side.
SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program brings to you our news stories, exclusive reporting, and SSM perspectives on the day's top news. Plus, the inside scoop on Africa's most important developing stories. Join us on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. West African time.
Here are 3 things that I absolutely loved about Nigeria. Number 1, I fit in. Here are 3 things that I absolutely loved about Nigeria. Number 1, I fit in. I fit in. Melanin, caramel, chocolate, mocha, whatever you may call it, I fit in, baby. I felt at home. I didn't feel out of place. I didn't feel like anybody was staring at me. Nobody was looking at me strange when I walked around in the stores. I mean, everybody was minding their own business. Number 2, the people. I mean, Nigerians are a vibe. The diverse culture, the different tribes, the different religions, the people are a vibe, okay? Whatever it is that you're looking for, they got it in Nigeria, okay? And they see you. They see you. They notice you. There's a sense of community. People care. Yes. And of course, you might be woken up at 2 a.m. because there's church going on the loudspeaker, but hey, nothing wrong with a little godliness, okay? Relax. Number 3, I love that Nigerians are resilient. They are resilient. Very ambitious and resilient people. They don't depend on the government for anything. They will figure out how they can take care of themselves. They see their systems. They know it's messed up. And guess what? They still thrive and they still figure out a way to make it work. So shout out to all my Nigerians. You are nothing but queens and kings in my eyes. If you're an LDR couple and you're not yet following us, what are you waiting for? Make sure you engage from the bottom up and we'll do the same. I'll see you in the next video.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerian soul, are proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
This is everything you need to marry a Nigerian girl. Her father gave me a list of 39 items which include a live goat. The first place I went was the bulk food market to gather the yam, palm oil, baskets of fruit, and dried fish known as eja osun. And it's not just 1 yam or liter of palm oil, I am buying large quantities. It was pouring rain and I rented boots to make it through the mud, but it is worth it to marry my beautiful bride. In Nigeria, they practice dowry for marriage, paid to the family. In the Yoruba culture, each item is symbolic and not really a payment to the family, but rather proving your worth to marry her. And prove it I did by next heading to the goat market, where I spoke with a house of men to find the meatiest goat. This is the one I picked, and surprisingly, the goat at only $40 is one of the cheapest items on the list. This can't be done in one day, so after the rain cleared, I went to Mushin Main Market to find the kola nut, both bitter and regular, the alligator pepper, the adun, which specifically said I needed to buy plenty, and bottle of raw honey, which symbolizes that our marriage will be sweet. Next, I had to gather biscuits, bulk packs of different drinks, wine, and semen schnapps, as well as a suitcase full of new clothes for my fiancé to prove I can provide for her in the marriage. And lastly, the marriage Bible, as God will always come first. It is possible to pay someone to buy these items, but for me, I wanted the experience myself. Finally, we brought all these items to the family home for the wedding day. It is not easy to marry a Yoruba girl, but my bride is strong, smart, loving, beautiful, and completely worth it.
Yes, gentlemen, you're welcome back. Didi, Raji in Lagos, Nigeria, and George in Toronto, Canada. Gentlemen, let's dive in to more issues. Now we want to talk education. Education. We know how very, very vital the educational sector is in any country. What we heard lately is the Nigerian standard of education is deteriorating. It's not coming out good. The JAMB exam that determines who goes into university came out with its rating, and it's sad. It's terrible. BD, JAMB says that the result of the latest university student that wants to go into university is appalling. He said out of 1 million of them that sat for that exam, only 412,000 were able to score above that range that's 200, and the other ones were all below. A sign to deterioration, decline in our educational system. Tell us, BD, what do you know about this jam? And
it's really disheartening. About 9,883 Nigerians who sat for this jam. Is about 400 that score over 200, not even up to half of it. You know, that shows you that we have a lot of problem in our hands, but still we will not see it like that. Now let's start from the beginning. First is that we as people, Nigerians, we don't pay much attention to our education. Why did I say that? If we look at our budget, if you see education budget, you yourself, you understand what I'm saying. Nigerian government don't budget reasonable amount to education. Now, for any country that wants to survive, that wants to grow, takes education first, then health second. But when you look at our budget, these things come slow. We don't pay attention. So, and we're seeing it. This is not the first time we're seeing it. And even after this call, many of these people are going to find themselves in our universities. Now, what are they going to come out with? And in this part of the world, we just know one part of education system. Our skill, our entrepreneurial type of education is not strong. If it's a country like China that these things are happening, I won't be bothered because I know they pay a lot of attention in their skill type of education or in their entrepreneurial type of education. We don't pay attention in those areas. If we are the country that pays attention to those areas, I will not be bothered because all what we know is linguistic type of education, and still we are not doing well at it. And somebody was telling me, how would they pass when they force the children to go to write the exam in the early hours of the day? You guys heard about that when they have to resume jam centers by 6 a.m. You know, they are still looking for one girl who went for that jam. They are still looking for one girl. I read it on social media. I tried to reach them, but they've not responded. They said a girl went out to write for that jam and they've not seen her. How can you ask children? And when we talk about jam, we're talking about teenagers. Do you understand? These are children between the age of 9, 10 to like 12, Abi 15. You expect them to come an early hour of that time, 6 a.m., coming to a jam center to come and write jam. Some of them, like I said, some of them will live somewhere like they're going to Ikorodu. Some people might live from Ikorodu going to Island, and you expect them to leave that early hour. You see, the way things happen in this country, how can elders sit and make some decision, and other elders will chorus it and it will stick
with them? Oh, Raji, you were saying no.
Yes.
The jam age is actually from 18 and above.
Upwards.
Okay.
Yeah, 15, 16, upwards. Now, there are more fundamental issues to consider than the results of the JAMB results. First and foremost, even the teachers, the quality of our teachers in almost every school. You go to every school, the quality of our teachers are the lowest. Their pay is the lowest. There's hardly any motivation for most teachers. Most teachers are self-motivated because they want to do something for education. And for those who go to public schools, there's hardly any teaching done. That's one part of it. Second part is even the students themselves. The students are so disorganized, so disoriented by what is happening in society. They have seen where people have gone to school, they have come out, there's no job. They have seen where somebody who spent 6 months in a Yahoo training center is now riding a big car. So there's a lot of distractions and attractions for them, not to focus too much on education. Then the exam system itself is a computer-based testing. A lot of the students may not be so conversant with CBT and therefore may be anxious and nervous during the exams. Then the timing. The timing is such that because of the distribution of centers, people are forced to leave their residence to go to the exam center, which may be tens of kilometers away from his residence. And if they have to leave at so early in the morning as early as 6:30, I think it is abominable. It is not something. It's something that should not be done. Therefore, even JAMB itself should be careful about their exam centers and where children register for exams. Then there are also what they call the miracle centers, which is known to some parents. So some parents, a parent living in Ikorodu who knows about a miracle center in Surulere will now register the child to go to that miracle center to take exams. So all those, there are so many.
Help our viewers, Raji. Miracle Center means when you go to that center, there is some
assistance given to you so that you will get a higher grading. Yes. Sometimes the results are given to you and you are helped in the process. Even though there are supposed to be cameras, in the centers. They still have a way of going around it.
You mean like? Do you mean like there is blatantly cheating? In the exam.
They don't call it cheating. Yes. Let me respond to what Raji has said. You see, what Raji said that most of these students they use laptop and they don't. Many of them don't know. It boils down to that not funding the education sector very well. Now, a lot of these children from year 1 to their final year in school have not touched laptop. But at the end, you expect them to use laptop to write exam that we use to, qualify them entering into high institution. Is it not the problem of government? In this age, we're talking about this as secondary students not knowing how to use a laptop in this age with our position as giant of Africa in Nigeria, because we don't take education very seriously. Because if we do, all these schools should have laptops. It should be done like when I was in school. I remember that every Wednesday we have what they call health education. We go, do you understand? They should have, but many of them they don't. Like the Miracle Center, Sararaji said, and Sajosi said cheating. They don't call it cheating. Parents do, they pay heavily to give them such preferential treatment, and they take their children there and they write the exam and they come out with flying colors. So, Sir George, if you say it's cheating, now you say, no, me and Raji talk about.
So, just a comment. Just a comment, please. Just a comment. You see, we cannot put the blame too much on government. I think we should emphasize government. We have to take responsibility for ourselves. Now, government. I just sent a message to a friend. Who are those people in government? Most of the people in government did not even go through schools. They come into government. Your qualification is maybe O-level attempted. What kind of value is that such a person going to put in education. So let parents start taking responsibility for their own thing. And then there's
Saraki,
something wrong with parents too. So there's something wrong with parents too. When parents send their children to private schools, they think that all the responsibility is now off them, and that it's all up to the private school because they are paying a lot for education. We have projects. We have projects that we are having with public schools where we supply them computers. So I'll talk for Lagos.
I have a question. I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I have a question. Now, over 1.5 million out of 1.96 million candidates who took the JAMB, in 2025 scored below 200. Okay.
That's terrible.
That's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. And according to the data released by JAMB, only 420,415 scored above 200, while just 12,414, that is 0.63%, scored above 300 out of almost 1.96 million students. So you're beginning to see, we're talking about laptop. What is going to power your laptop? So if you get the laptop and put it in school and there is no light, what is going to power it? That is one question you need to ask. Because what we are clamoring and talking about, oh, the government is not supplying laptop. You don't have lights in schools. What's going to power it? Generator? They're going to go and buy diesel, and every day they're going to run diesel in school in order for the laptops to be on, because these laptops after a certain period they will die off. So and all these things, and there is hunger in the land, my people. A hungry man cannot think efficiently to pass an examination. Look at what is happening in the country, for goodness sake. The children are being bombarded with all this mess, killing, kidnapping, and all kinds of stuff. And there is no food. A lot of families now, they can only afford one meal a day. And that's malnutrition. And you think they're going to be thinking about education and going to class and learning? Come on, we still have about 100 years to go when it comes to all these things. I'm sorry, but that's the way I see it.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate.
Saraji, I want to disagree with you with what you said. Sir George has even said this a lot. Mental effects that the children are having is even making them, they are not studying very well. Now, I totally disagree with you, because when you spoke first, you said in public school, they don't teach them well. And the teachers don't go home with good payments. And now you say, we should not blame the government. Who then do I blame? Because if in the public school, the rise of private school in Nigeria is because the public school stopped doing well. And parents now decided to be putting their children in private school, and they pay heavily to get better education. If governments are paying the teachers well, they will be teaching well, and the children there will learn well. But because governments are not paying them, because they don't see the importance of paying teachers. And if you ask me, in this world, teachers are the people who are supposed to be paid more than every other person in this world. But in Nigeria, they don't pay them anyhow. Some of those teachers you see in public school, they have schools, they have education centers where they make little money to sustain themselves.
Side hustles.
So I still blame the government. It's government. If I don't blame the government, who will I blame? No, it starts from government. Now let me give you an example. If I come to your house now as a visitor, Saraji, the way you keep your things is the way I follow. I can't go against how you keep your things. So it boils down to government. If governments are doing well, parents and schools will follow. If JAMB are not giving people opportunity to rig or to do malpractice, it will not work. But because governments are not paying them well, and that's why they are doing malpractice. You remember Mesoma last 2 years, it trended. What happened? So it boils down at government. It's inability of government to do things right. That is why we are where we are today.
That is why we are where we are today. Anyway, gentlemen, the poor JAMB results is not making us look good. It reflects our educational system that is really, really deteriorating. Thank you very much. You all said this one so well. George, the questions are also very crucial. George, you're asking, how will the computers be handled if no electricity? Now let's come to a country that looks like they are trying their best, but the best doesn't seem to be good enough. See this video and we'll talk about it. Kenya.
Tumekubaliana jameni, kwa sababu niko na viongozi wengi. Mimi nataka niwahakikishie, sawa sawa, sikizeni watu wa Kuria, nyinyi ni wakulima wa maana sana sehemu hii. Tulisema kwanza tupunguze gharama. Ngojea.
Nani mjinga huyo?
Tulisema tupunguze gharama ya mbolea. Kweli au si kweli? Tulisema tupunguze gharama ya mbolea. Hiyo ngojea. Wachana na
What you just saw, viewers, is the Kenyan government having a rally of President Ruto, and somebody threw shoe at the president's rally. Very disrespectful act. George, this is Kenya for you, and what will you say?
well, you see, Kenyan people, they are rejecting. They're actually rejecting President William Ruto, ever since the last chaos, took place in the country, where he was raising taxes and things like that. I mean, while he was campaigning and, during a rally in Migori County, somebody threw a shoe at him and he hit his arm. The question is, if that is the case, and somebody can throw a shoe at him and it will hit him, that means if they had a gun or a arrow or a bow or something, they could have killed that man. So number one is the security that was there. What were they doing? Were they actually protecting the president? But not only that, I know they call it very shameful and very disrespectful. If you go to the places like Iran or Iraq, when they throw a shoe at you, that means that you are completely and absolutely rejected. And you're supposed to pack up and go. Because throwing a shoe at you means that you are just a non-entity, in short, in the public eye.
In leadership.
In leadership. And that's exactly what happened here. So as much as he's being condemned, there are other factors that needs to be looked at. And one of them is just the fact that this man was not protected adequately. So it is a shameful situation.
The best protection for any president or any head of state is good governance.
Thank you.
Simple and short.
Thank you. But when the people are for you, nobody will come to harm you.
Unless he's coming to the event fully clothed in armor, then he could consider himself safe. But the best government is that.
But the funniest part of what I'm seeing here is how usually when you come to Europe or North America, if you are so unpopular and you have done so badly in the government, you don't go. You see a lot of them, they will resign on their own accord. They don't even come back anymore. They just go and sit down and rest. But in Africa, you can be the most unpopular individual, the most devastating style of government, and yet you see them having the impetus to come out and campaign again because they want to continue with the governance when the people have rejected you. And that's what you were saying, throwing shoe at him, means we reject you, go home, we don't need you anymore. Let's get a better leader.
But the breach in security. Yeah, go ahead, BD.
George, you're talking about people who believe in the power of people and letting them into office. In Africa, our leaders believe that they don't need you to be there. If the caucus within has endorsed them, they believe that they can still go to power without the people. That's why it's like that in Africa. You see, one thing I noticed about this Kenya government and the people, since after that mass rally, things has never been the same. Do you understand? Since then, things has never been the same. So I'm wondering why, even with that, he's still pushing. Well, let's see how far that will get him. But certainly it will not get him any far, that I know.
Let's see how far that will get him. Suddenly we'll get him nowhere.
So you're saying that we don't the leaders don't need the people, and then you're saying that no, wait a minute, and you won't get him any too far. Well, if the caucus that is campaigning with him endorses him, he's going to be the president again. We know.
All right, gentlemen, we need to we have to go. Our time is up. But before we go, for Friday, I want you to see something that is trending in the West.
It is to make life multiplanetary, so that we can expand the scope and scale of consciousness to better understand the nature of the universe, and to ensure the long-term survival of civilization in the hopefully unlikely event that something terrible happens to Earth, that there is a continuance of consciousness on Mars.
This is a backup plan in case something bad happens here, going to Mars.
That's one of the benefits of Mars, is life insurance for life collectively. So eventually all life on Earth will be destroyed by the sun. The sun is gradually expanding, and so we do at some point need to be a multi-planet civilization.
For Friday, I think we'll talk more on this. Raji, I saw your comment on that. That's the world's richest man talking. That's the most scientific brain talking there. So he's telling us that Earth is coming to an end.
He's talking out of
Mars.
Listen.
No, not overrule.
Listen to this.
So
the Holy Book said in the book of Psalm 1 and Psalm 2 say, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine vain things?
Vain things.
You see, you can try to make yourself a god, but if you remember the Tower of Babel in Genesis chapter 11, when they wanted to build a tower to the heavens, and God came and confused their language. Let me tell you something. Yeah, imagining vain things, only certain things are only possible in the mind. Because if you want to be a god, it is going to be impossible for you to achieve certain things. So it is, you're going to Mars, you're going to Venus, you're going to all this planetary system. You want to extend life in that place. Why the creator who created only made Earth, only a habitable environment with oxygen and all that kind of stuff. These are imagining vain things. But we'll talk about it all. Let's talk about it on Friday.
The interesting thing, George, is imagine everything at the point they do it. They go to some step. Then God will.
That's what they said there. That is like I'm seeing. It said that the sun will certainly soon destroy all human beings. The weather we are seeing now, I don't understand though if it's true. The weather, the sun here. At this morning, I went out for jogging. By 8, the sun is already high, like it's afternoon.
But the sun he's talking about is the same sun for Mars. Is Mars not out of Mars out of our planetary system?
No, it's still yes.
It's still within it. So what are you talking about?
I know, but the distance to Earth and the distance to Mars,
is different. Yes.
Okay, so it's reducing. That's why we're feeling it here. It's reducing the distance.
Okay, so
the distance is not reducing. It has always been the same. Nothing is going to happen to the sun. But if the sun shrinks, it's shrinking for the whole of the planetary system. It's not shrinking for us alone.
All right, viewers, we're coming to talk a little bit of space, outer space, science on Friday. George will be here, Raju will be here, BD will be here. Until then, I want to say thank you guys for coming. BD, put your eye on the updates from your end. We still need to know more of what is happening with the dark man, very dark man, and all the other updates from Nigeria. George, thank you.
You're welcome.
Until we come again, have a beautiful week. Bye-bye.
Yeah, same to you. Bye.